Good day. Let me have a little sip of coffee, please. Thank you. I'm so grateful to be here with you today. You know, the world needs to know what's wrong with it. We need to know what's wrong with the world. And the world needs to know that our only hope is Jesus Christ. Didn't come to the world to entertain it. Didn't come to the world to repress it and beat them down into the ground. Let me tell you, right? He came to save, to seek and save the lost. As he's traveling through Samaria, just outside of Judea. The disciples are hungry, off to town, something to eat. Jesus is weary and thirsty. He's thirsty. The 6th hour, which is about noon. Maybe that's why the woman came out at noon. It was a hot time of the day, and maybe there was not too many other people around, but he goes to the well. He has no way of getting water out. He doesn't have a water jar. But a woman shows up, and she's about to draw water from the well. He looks at her and he says, "Would you give me a drink? Would you give me a drink?" She looked at him and she said, "How come you're asking me for a drink? How come you're asking me?" The truth is, the Jews don't associate with the Samaritans. Why would you be asking me for a drink? Could I have a drink, please? Jesus answered, "If only you knew the gift of God. If only you understood who's asking you for a drink. If only you knew what he's talking about here." She looked at Jesus and said, "Sir, you have nothing to draw water with. You're talking about living water." "Are you greater than our father, Jacob, who came to this well and drank of it, and watered his livestock and his sons and his family?" Jesus said, "Everyone who drinks of the water that I give them will never be thirsty again." Here's a woman with a hole in her heart, and she's trying to fill it up with men. The more the merrier. 5 husbands, and now living with one who's not her husband. Here's a woman who is searching for something, meaning, significance, love, acceptance, something. And he said, "But if I was to give you this water that I'm speaking of, this water would well up within you to eternal life." And the woman said, "Sir, give me this water so that I don't get thirsty and I don't have to come to this well again." You're still missing the fact. It's not about the well. He says, "Go call your husband." She says, "I don't have a husband." She's honest. He said, "You say right, because you're 5 and you're now living with one, and he's not your husband." Jesus says, "Right on, right on, right on." She looked at him and she said, "Sir, I perceive that you are a prophet." John 4:7-19. A remarkable conversation, a tremendous encounter, a wonderful Bible story. It's a radical move. The Samaritans. He had to go through Samaria. It was of necessity that he would bring this woman to the realization of her sins, to bring her face to face with her sins and face to face with the only one in all the world who could help her. Jesus was the only one who could help her. And she was shocked when he spoke about her. Jews and Samaritans were bitter enemies. They didn't have time to get into it. It's scandalous for a Jew to speak to a strange woman in public, and especially to ask for a drink of water at noon. Anyway, the moral outcast, her heart's laid bare, and Jesus brings her face to face with her own life. You see, a long time ago, he brought me face to face with my sin. And he told me, he says, Jack, you may think you're somebody, but you're not. You're empty. You're empty as can be. And you don't have the wherewithal to pick yourself up from the gutter. And I thought I was living the life. You're not living the life, Jack. You're barely living. And he brought me face to face with my own sinfulness. No, there's no one here that's perfect at this church. There's no one here who says, I got it all together, I'm the one. No. A complete outsider. Even within her own. But she rushes home to this town and she tells everyone, she had been marginalized. But she runs home and she says, come quickly, I found this guy. And he told me, come on quick. And the whole town comes out. And they believed Christ. And many of them were converted. You know, that's the power of Jesus Christ. When Jesus speaks, the barriers come down. The racial barriers, the cultural barriers, the gender barriers, the moral barriers, the religious barriers. Doesn't matter what people think, it matters what does God think about me? What does Jesus have to say about me? And he confronts us today with the truth. Living water, which he's talking about eternal life. He wants to give you life without end. He wants to give you hope, reconciliation, sanctification, hope. Why don't you think about him? Why don't you think about him more? Why don't you give him a little bit more thought? God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.